Hello everybody, it's the Replicator here. I just wanted to do a quick video on how much it actually costs to create a comic book. We're going to be looking at a standard 22-page issue comic book, and I'm going to use Replicator 1 as an example, just to give you an idea of how much everything costs. So bear in mind, this is quite a few years old now, and the prices probably would be different, but just to give you an idea of the quality of what I paid as to what you get, it's a good place to start. And I'm paying significantly more for Replicator 2 and 3, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so 22 pages, I'm paying $100 per page for the penciler and inker, so that's without the colors, obviously. So you can make your own mind up about the level of quality. But that's what I got for $100, okay? On top of that, I paid $70 for colors. Now, when I first found the colorist, he was charging $50, but because the project took so long, and that's a whole nother story, I ended up having to pay $70 to keep his services. Now, I could have gone somewhere else and maybe got a colorist for, say, $50, and you can get a good colorist for $50 even now. But that's what I ended up paying. I paid $70 per page for the colors. So it's a comic about a disease amongst other things. So it's a very gloomy palette, quite dark and morbid. It suits it very well, but just yeah, that's what I paid. Now you've got to add letters on top of that. I paid $10 for letters back then, and the letters are quite good, very good actually. But I wouldn't be able to pay that now. I'm currently paying $20 for letters for Replicator 2 and Replicator 3 and the remaster of Replicator 1. So it's very challenging to get that price today, I'd say. And the thing about letters are, they're very important. You don't want to have cheap letters because they look terrible and they make your comic book look terrible. Even if you have amazing art, if you have a bad letterist, it brings the whole project down. Okay, so that's it. For 22 pages, pencils, inks, colors, and letters, I paid $3,950. Replicator was actually 32 pages, so I paid significantly more than that, but that's the point. We're working off 22 pages. You paid nearly $4,000, and that's US dollars as well. That's the currency that the comic book industry works in. So that's nearly $4,000 for 22 pages. Now, if you wanted to do like a 48-page book, right, based off those figures, you're looking at somewhere between, that is not the right amount. Hang on. You're looking at $8,640. So that is a huge amount of cash. Unless you have a solid fan base, and I mean solid fan base, that is going to be a really difficult number to raise. Okay, so bear that in mind. I'd recommend, if you don't have a fan base, start with 22 pages. Okay, you may want to do 48 pages because you think it's going to sell better. You got to think, is it going to sell more than doubly as well as a 22-page book? Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, with the covers, you're going to pay a minimum of that $170 minimum. Okay, most artists charge significantly more for their covers, for their cover work. And if you want to get someone who's of a higher quality than what you're paying for your page rate, it's going to be even more money. Okay, so you're looking at maybe, well, it's so varied, but you could be looking anywhere from the page rate that we mentioned up to like $500 to $1,000, depending on how quality you want to go. Obviously, $1,000 is on the high end. But anywhere between what your page rate is to $500 is not out of the question. I'd recommend having 2 covers as well. having a variant just gives you an option to package the comics together, so you can upsell them in a pack deal to your backers, allowing you to charge a higher figure. That works out well for everyone concerned. Printing, I'm not really going to touch on printing, except to say it's going to vary for whichever printer you use, where you're located, and however many copies you're going to print. Obviously, if you print 1,000 copies, it's going to be cheaper per unit to if you print 100 copies. Okay, so you can do all this research beforehand. You can find out printers in your area or online printers, how many pages you're going to do, and you can get quotes on how much it's going to cost you. Another little thing I do is I put 30% of what I raise aside for shipping, because it's included in your total goal that you've raised so far. So if we have a quick look at Replicator Remastered, which is on Indiegogo currently with 11 days left, I've got $9,134 US raised. I'm going to put about 3,000 of that straight away into shipping, because I'm from Australia, so the 70% of my shipping is going to be overseas, at least. Actually, probably be like 90% of my shipping will be overseas. But if you're in the US, you're going to probably have about 70% of your backers are going to be US backers. But this just allows me to stay really safe. It doesn't allow me to go crazy or overestimate or underestimate how much things are going to cost. So that's a little thing I do. You obviously don't have to do that, but it does keep you safe, which is a good idea. Stretch goals and rewards. All right, so this is where people get really tripped up. I've done it before. Sweetcast has mentioned he's done it before as well. You obviously, when you're running a campaign and it's going awesome, you get caught up in the hype, and you want to offer backers everything you possibly can under the sun. You want to do, foil, spot, UV covers. You want to do trading cards. You want to do color prints. You want to do all those cool things. But you really need to know how much those things cost you. For example, right? Say I've got 500 backers. For me, and this is going to be different for you guys wherever you are and whatever your printers charge you. But if I want to do 500 black and white prints on 300 GSM paper, I think it's costing me about 40 cents, 30 to 40 cents per print. If I do color, that's $1 per print. All right, so that's like more than double. So one's going to cost me $500 and the other's going to cost me significantly less, maybe like $150. All right, there's little things like that. They add up so quickly. So just bear that in mind. Yeah, I hope that was really helpful for some people. As I said, if you don't have a big fan base built up already, I would try and stick to this. And a couple of final points is you can pay less money than this, and that's fine if you want to. One point is it is easier to sell comics in the long term the better the art quality is. Okay, so you may spend more money now, but in the long term it's going to be easier to sell your book, as opposed to spending less now and making it harder to sell your book long term. But that's just my thoughts. You don't have to agree with me on that. It's just what I've experienced myself. Okay, so finally, we've got my campaign Replicator here. We're at 202 backers. We have 11 days left. It's what if an evil corporation built its own private X-Men. It's set in London, basically where a virus has killed millions of people, and one lady, a scientist, is on the verge of cure. She goes missing, and her husband has to try and find out what's happened to her. All right, you can see we've got art by Aaron Alfeche, who works on Jawbreakers and Expendables now, and he is just incredible. Such an amazing find. We've got the remastered edition here, which is we've got Clayton Barton from How to Draw Comics, his cover, and we're just redoing the letters here, which we're underway doing now. At 10K, so about $800 and something off, we unlock this Rob Willis Replicator 3 cover print, which will be included for free for all backers. And at 12K, we're unlocking this Kyle Ritter colored trading card, which is a work in progress too. So yeah, if you like it, I'll put the links in the description. I hope this was really helpful for some people, and thank you. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Thank you later. See you later, guys.